Tripoli EDC back again with another knife video. I want to remind everyone I have a giveaway going on right now. It was originally supposed to end on Friday, but I'm going to go ahead and extend it until Sunday. We have not had a lot of people enter the giveaway, and normally a lot of people do enter because it's free. This time I did say that I just wanted people to donate any amount, whether it's 1 cent, whether it's $1, whether it's more than that, whether it's enough to cover a knife. This is to benefit BJ from Hilltop Knives. He, as I said in my original video, he lost some knives, and we're just trying to help him out here because he lost about $2,000 worth of knives, and anything that we can do to help him is great. So go ahead and enter that. I think it's the last video I put out. Go ahead and look at that one. Go ahead and enter. There's only a couple of people who've entered at this point, so for 1 cent, you could win a bunch of knives. So go ahead and do that. Just leave a comment on that video. Let me know you donated. In any event, this video is about the SpydieChef. This is a knife that I honestly didn't think I would buy. I saw it come out, and there's a lot of reasons why I didn't. By the way, you can see that it's in the condition that it's in. This is obviously used. This is not a new knife, but that is one of the reasons that I bought it. But let me go ahead and give you my first impressions on this, and we'll start with why I waited so long to get it. Now, this is a knife that was really popular, and a bunch of reviewers had remarked a couple of things on it that really kind of turned me off a little bit. Number one, it's not, the design is nice looking. It's a little bit simple, I guess, in construction, which a lot of reviewers do like. Nick Shabazz loves his simple construction knives, and there's a lot to be said about them, and I do enjoy them as well, especially Chris Reeve. I do enjoy the simple construction on a Chris Reeve knife, but this one was it just didn't strike me as anything that I really needed to go after. The other real reason is that the Spydie hole was covered up by the lock bar here, and so I didn't think that this was going to be something that was fidgety, and something I look for in knives is a knife that is fidgety. So and there's one other reason that I didn't go after this knife right away, and that is the blade shape. There's almost there really is no flat on this blade, and I usually, as you guys know if you watch my videos, I do enjoy Wharncliffes a lot. One of my favorite knives is the Wee Roxy, which is a nice Wharncliffe knife. And I also enjoy knives that have a lot of flats, which is why I enjoy a lot of drop points specifically. But this one I never really appealed to me. It has sort of an interesting shape where it curves here, and then sort of curves here and drastically up there. So those were the reasons that I didn't run out and buy it at first. And the other real reason was it's not a cheap knife, especially in Spyderco's lineup. It was about $218 or so. And after this past calendar year flipped to 2020, the price went up to like $234. And that just sort of put it in a range where I was like, I'm just not going to get it. Now, this is the CQI version. For those of you guys that don't know, there were two versions of it. The original version had a stainless steel bearing in it as the detent, and it also had I think it had a different opening mechanism or something. I can't remember all the differences, but I do know that it had the stainless steel detent, and it had silver hardware here. Also, it had satin hardware. The screws were not black like this. So those are really the major differences between this and the CQI and the original. This is the CQI version. You can tell because it does have the black screws, and the CQI version of it has a ceramic ball detent. So why is that important? So this was meant to be sort of a close to waterproof knife. It's called the SpydieChef. So it can be used in the kitchen, not necessarily to replace a kitchen knife, but it could be used with food. So you needed something that was relatively corrosion resistant. So you have the blade steel here is LC200N, which is an extremely corrosion resistant steel. And the stainless steel detent ball that was in here ended up rusting before anything else on the knife. And so they had to replace that with a ceramic ball, which won't rust. All right, now let's get to my first impressions of the knife. So my first impressions of the knife is obviously it does get pretty marked up with a bunch of snail trails, which is one of the reasons I went ahead and got this. And I ended up getting this for a really good price because of all the snail trails. It was about $140. So I jumped on it and figured I'd get it out for the channel. And then if I enjoyed it, great. If I didn't enjoy it, I could pass it on and not really lose any money. So that is why I went ahead and jumped on it. Now, a couple of things that I do like about it right off the bat. So the action on it is a lot better than I thought it was. It's a smooth action. It's not quite CRK level, Chris Reeve Knives level, but it is extremely smooth. It's a washer-based, I don't know if you can see that in there. It's washer-based, and it's just very, very smooth for a washer knife, and it just feels really nice opening and closing. So that's one of the things that I do really like about it. The other thing is this blade shape. It kept me away from buying this for an extremely long time, and honestly, it's been pretty good. That being said, I think it would have benefited from maybe ending here and this being the shape right here. This aggressive swerve up to the top. It's late, guys. I can't even talk today. But this aggressive curve up to the top is a little bit too much for cutting things. So when you go through boxes and things like that, you're really hitting the box with pretty much this much of the blade, and you're pulling it out of the cutting path before it really gets up here, because it doesn't feel natural to ride up to that point. So that's something that you should just be aware of, but it does cut. It's excellent. It's extremely sharp. The stock on this is pretty good, and it's an aggressive grind down to the bottom, extremely thin, which is excellent. The clip on here is great. It goes in and out of the pocket really easily. I did not like this clip on the Para. I did not like it on the, I had the St. Nick's Little Native, but I do really like it on this knife. Now, I think this one is, I'm not sure if this is stainless steel or titanium, the clip on this one. I know a lot of the other ones that Spyderco has the wire clip. Those are stainless steel, but this one does feel a little different than those, so this one could be titanium. That being said, the handle here is titanium. Titanium doesn't rust, which is why it was the choice there. And it's bead blasted titanium. It feels really nice in the hand. It gives you a decent grip, and the ergonomics on this are great. So that's a lot of what it has going for it that's good. There is one other thing I'd like to mention as far as the good, which is you can Spidey flick it. Despite what everyone says, a lot of reviewers have said you cannot Spidey flick this, or it's uncomfortable to Spidey flick. I do not find that to be the case. I can pretty much Spidey flick it 100% of the time with no problems, and it is a lot more fidgety than I had anticipated originally, which is one of the reasons that I do like it overall. Now the bad is, for those of you who know, there's I don't know if you can hear that, but the lanyard tube does rattle in here. It's not quite tight, which is, not a great thing for fit and finish. Sorry guys, hit the camera there. And again, the other part of the bad is the blade shape. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit flatter than it is, but it's not as much of a problem as I thought it would be. So overall, that's the good and the bad that I see right away on this. One other thing is it does carry pretty well since it's so thin in the pocket. Other than that, that's it for my first impressions, guys. Go ahead and don't forget to enter that giveaway if you haven't yet. That giveaway is to benefit BJ from Hilltop Knives. I would love to see him replace at least some of his knives. I have, for those of you who don't know, I have this knife, the Civivi Praxis, going to him to replace the one that he lost, among many other knives, adding up to approximately $2,000 in knives. In the meantime, go ahead and like this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the SpydieChef, until next time, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks so much.